Well, it's just a short video of my new 2016 WRX in dark grey metallic. This is the limited version. Got everything on it. Got the nav, short shifter, the short throw shifter, trunk liner, you name it, it's on it. But anyway, going to take it for a quick drive. It's been broken in. It's got I think about 12, actually let's see what it's got on it. Yep, 1205 miles. It's completely standard. I have a cob access port on. Oh, turn the AC/DC off. Got a cob access port in the post. It should be here in a couple of days. Put that on it. I'll make another video. But right now I'm just going to give my opinions on the car. I know there's plenty of other videos out there on this car, so I'm just going to give you my personal opinion and go from there. The only thing right now that I don't like about the car is the first or second gear, which nobody likes. The revs hang a little bit, but apart from that, it's nice. I love it. And as you can see, the backup camera's got rain on it from when I come home from work earlier. It might still be raining. Even with a backup camera, I still like the look here, there and everywhere. Force of habit. This is the first time I've driven manual in, well, I drove manual at Christmas while I was in England for about a week. But the last car I owned was a 2013 BRZ, which I had a turbocharged. That was automatic with the paddle shifters, which was a lot of fun, but I still kind of missed the manual. Kind of get that engagement with the engine, I guess. You feel like you're doing something, you feel what the car's doing. And the gearing as well, the gearing on the BRZ was, the gears were longer, so you didn't have that acceleration that you had in the manual. Although it was fast as hell once I put the turbo on it and had bigger injections and a turbo back exhaust, and it put down about 300 at the rear wheels, but it still needed to be a manual. But it was great to drive, taking the mountains and go with the paddle shift, and it was just great fun. You could just concentrate on carving the road up without having to worry about rev matching downshifts and all that stuff, which I still haven't got down yet. I need to practice that. Anyway, this is just going to be a little drive. Maybe just go a few miles. Still kind of spotting the rain. Something Subaru needs to do is automatic rain sensing wipers. That's something I had on a Mazda, the Mazda CX-9, which we bought years ago. That had it on. So I don't know why other manufacturers, actually way back in England, like in the 90s, I drove a Peugeot back then, and that had automatic rain sensing wipers. So it's not as if it's new technology, but it'd be really nice to have it on there. But that's not a gripe about the car, that's just a gripe about cars in general. I think they should all have them on by now. On the speed limit here in the subdivision I'm in is 25. That's why we're going so painstakingly slow right now. Not that I'm going to go that fast because it's wet. But as for, I like the ride quality. You know, a few people say it's stiff and bumpy, but drive a BRZ every day and you'll know what stiff and bumpy is. Although I love that car. The seats in this one, they're good. They're just not as hugging as what the BRZ was. The BRZ seats were great. You could really throw that car around, and you wouldn't move anywhere. This one's not quite as severe as the WRX seats, but they're comfortable. But it just you can move around a little bit more in them. Thing where I live, there's nice country roads as soon as I leave the subdivision. Now all the gear shifts after first to second are fine. I've got used to first to second as well. It's not as bad, but I'm a little bit more conscious of it. So it's not like it's just a second nature muscle. What's the words I'm looking for? Muscle memory. Like it is driving a manual. With that first to second, you've really got to think about it. You've got to remember what you done last time you drove it. I find the best way to do it is when I'm coming out of first, like now. Ooh, didn't need to put that much clutch. But when and let the clutch out a little slower, then it slips in there nice. And then once you pass second, it's clean sailing. But it's really because the revs hang a little. You let off the throttle and they're still like climbing, and that's what makes it so hard. And it can jolt a little bit if you ain't careful. The first day I had it, I was jolting everywhere. Shifter is still nice, it just goes in. It's not the smoothest one I've ever driven, but it's been such a long time. I've been in the States now for 13 years, and I've driven a automatic ever since I've been here. The only time I ever drive manual is when I go back to England. I learned to drive a manual, and I just remember this one here is just, you can just feel it a little notchy, but it's not real bad. But I kind of like it in a sense, because you really feel when you do get it in gear, you've got some feeling with the stick. The other things like people say about the cabin being a bit sparse. I guess you can say that, but I think what they have got here looks real good. I think just about everything you need is in here. The climate control is good for ones. That's standard on all the models now. On the WRX models, whether you buy the base, the premium, or the limited. Really like the clocks. It would have been nice if they had the rev counter slap bang in the middle with a digital display on it. I really like the WRX. That was more easy to see the rev counter, but where it is, it's really easy to see anyway. But I love to look at the speed in a digital display, which I've got up right now. But it'd be nice if it was just a little bit bigger, a little bit out there on its own somewhere, so you can see it better. But it's one of those things you get used to. I guess I was just so used to the WRX one, which just stuck out like the balls on a bulldog. And the weather's actually clearing up a little bit, it looks like. Gotta love these fun little country roads. See, even fourth to second is just fine. It's just that first to second. When you want it to go, it goes. I thought I'd miss my WRX, having that much horsepower in a little car. But this thing just, I don't know what they've done to this engine. It's the same one as the WRX. But they've done something to it because the car is heavier, but it just, yeah, it goes like a great day. It's real nice. It's real responsive. say it's better than the BRZ or worse than the BRZ. It's different than the BRZ. The BRZ, you were lower down, you could really feel the road, whereas this one's a little bit more bit more of a family orientated car, I guess, compared to the BRZ. But the good thing with this one is it's got all-wheel drive, and when you come out of the corner you can floor it, and it's just, you're just so confident you're not going to lose grip. It just digs in and goes. I've not really thrown it into many corners yet because I've only had the car a week, and just not really drove that spirited with it yet. But going to the mountains at the end of the month, up on the Dragon's Tail, we'll see what it can really do. I'd love to get an autocross in before then. It's nice to go to an autocross with a new car, and that way if it doesn't handle how you think it should, or it lets go before you think it should, because there's no damage done, you just hit a couple of cones or spin it. But you've got to be careful when you go to the mountains. You get it wrong there and you're in a world of hurt. But this is into a corner. I mean, you just one-handed just fine, you point it, it goes. Coming out, just on the throttle. And this is with a wet road, and there's just no problem whatsoever. You know what? Let's make a left. I haven't made a left here for a long time. I was going to make a right and go back home, but let's see what's left. Plus we've got the sun coming out as well. I should have brought the camera to make a nice sunset. Well, going back to the gauges, I really do like the layout of the gauges. This one up here is kind of a novelty. When you first sit in the car and you look at it, you're like, wow, this is, you know, you feel like you're in a cockpit of a plane or something. Then you kind of get used to it, even just having it a week. It's not as cool as what I first thought it was. You know, I think there should be a lot more on there, and it should be explained better in the book what some of it is. There's the one, I don't know if you'll be able to see this with the camera, whether this is in the way, but wow, that sounds right. But there's this one here for the all-wheel drive, and I'm still not quite sure how I'm supposed to read that. Maybe on a track or autocross when one of the wheels lets go, or something. I'm not quite sure, or not sure what's supposed to happen there. And even if it does, you ain't going to be looking at it. You're going to be shitting yourself. So it's not quite sure what that one does, and the book doesn't say anything about it. Not that I found. I haven't read it cover to cover yet. But hear the rev hang. My foot is completely off the throttle, and it still feels like I've got it on. Well, it sounds like I've got it on there. And it tends to do it first. The second is the worst one, as I keep saying. But yeah, I don't find the ride harsh. I think it's just about right. It's coming from the BRZ, which was quite a harsh ride, especially on this kind of road. This one's, I can feel it. I can feel the road, which is good, but it's not real bad. The bumpiness is it's manageable. Plus, I didn't get this for luxury, although it is. I feel like it is luxury. It's real nice to drive. It's nice to commute. It's nice to just sit back and chill, listen to the radio, and then it's nice to switch everything off and drive it like you stole it. So I guess the big question is, if I could do it all over again, would I buy the BRZ or this? I think I'd get this. Maybe that's because I'm getting on. I'm 42 now. But there's some things I do miss about the BRZ. That low downness and makes you feel like you're driving a go-kart. You'd be doing 100 miles an hour and you feel like you're only doing 70. Whereas this one, I've done 100 in it already, and you know you're doing 100. You feel where the shocks aren't as stiff, it is a little bit more wallowy at 100. It's floating a little bit more. Whereas if it was stiffer suspension, you'd actually feel that you were planning on the ground. Now the road I done it on probably wasn't the best one to do it on, but this is where I need to learn heel toe. Coming up like that and using the engine as braking. When I owned a motorcycle, it was easy. You could just grab hold of the brake with your 2 fingers, clutch, flip the throttle in between each gear. I'm going to have to train my foot to brake and swivel it so I can flip the throttle. I know once I do, I'll be hooked on it. I'll do it all the time. I really need to do that, because the last thing I want to do when I'm up in the mountains, and I know I'm going to drive hard, especially with the folks I'm going with, I'm going to be having to shift down, brake hard and shift down. I just don't want that locking up. I want to be able to shift down and get it rev matched if possible. So I think that's what I'm going to practice maybe this weekend. I've kind of come out in the garage a couple of times, sat in the car with it off, and just practice rolling my foot over. It's not too bad, it's just a bit weird. It doesn't quite feel right. I can do it, but it doesn't feel natural. So I guess I just need to get used to it and get that muscle memory thing going. But as for driving, I mean, it's just easy to drive. It just feels natural to drive. I mean, driving the manual after so long is taking me a little bit more to get into. But it's like riding a bike, you never forget. Now I'm kind of lost. Oh, I know where I am. I know where I am. Now we're going to go right. See now, opening it up like that, I hit like 6,500 RPM in first. Then I can shift the second and it's absolutely fine. But you can't shift it like half when you're doing like half throttle or something like that, because it keeps on climbing when you let off. But you floor it and it's absolutely fine. The shifts are fine. If anything, they actually go into gear easier. Everything just feels crisper when you get on it. Thing in the 5th, or even just put them in the 6th and just sit back and just chill and enjoy the ride, or slip it down a few gears and drive it hard. It's just I just love the fact that you can do either or with the car, whereas the BRZ was a bit more single-minded. It was comfortable on long journeys if the road was if you're on a highway, freeway, interstate. It wasn't too bad then if the road surface was okay. The seats were really comfortable. I really liked them with the BRZ. I know I keep on referencing that car, but that's all I've known for the last few years. But this is kind of just luxury compared to it. I don't know, I always felt like I just wanted to get on it all the time in the BRZ. Where this one, even though it's brand new, where you tend to want to open it up and feel that power all the time, you get kind of addicted to it when it's new. With this one, I can hold back on it. I don't feel like I have to all the time. I can like sit back and actually enjoy just driving it. If that makes any sense. This is about the longest I've ever sat down and talked to myself on account that that guy there just lost his ass end. He's still losing it. What the hell's he doing? In a pickup truck. weather-wise. Rained all day long. It's the first time I've driven the car in the rain as well. It was gleaming before the day. I think it still does look nice, but until it dries up tomorrow, I'll find out just how much crap there is on the car. I have to get it washed as soon as possible. I need that nice new look to it. Really torn between this and the STI, and watched a lot of the reviews online on YouTube and seen a couple of people that had come from STIs and gone to this one. There was a couple of others that had come from this one and gone to the STI and preferred the STI, but it seemed like everyone who owned one of these put a video up and really like it. I've not seen one that's had a real bad review, just a couple of little annoyances here and there that people have had. Certainly that first to second gear business and the rev hang is quite annoying. Also the power band, it spools up, you hit max torque at like 2000 RPM and it holds that through to about 5000 and then it starts dipping off, so when you get on it, it shoots up and then it gets to 5 and it just tails off and it's like you've lost all power. The power band is a bit strange. It's nice for just everyday driving. If you stay, around about 2, 3, 4,000 RPM, then it does feel like it's got a lot of horse. But and when you drive it spirited and you keep the RPMs up all the time, you kind of, it's weird. It feels right then as well. It's just that when you do a full pull from low down, it feels like you've lost something, which I'm hoping that access port's going to get rid of. I'm not actually I didn't get it from Cobb, I've got it from MA Performance, which once I receive it, I just give them the number off of it, and they'll send me their own custom map, their off-the-shelf custom map, which is supposed to put, I think it was 53 horsepower and about the same torque onto the standard one and make it more drivable and linear throughout. This is the road I like. This is the one we came down out of my subdivision. From this way is quite fun. This is fourth gear. Seeing it just feels like it just wants to keep going. That was up to 5,000 RPM. If I was to put my foot to the floor, it's like you don't get nothing more out of it. But if you keep it about half throttle in this is like 100% throttle on any other vehicle I've driven. It's very, very weird. And it seems to lose it when you put your foot all the way to the floor. It's hard to describe. Which is why I want the access port. And there, see, I just found it hard to go. Oh, there we go, stutter. Got to let the clutch out real easy on this one. Me talking too much, not concentrating. Which again, it's not second nature to me. Need to get back into driving manual again. And I forgot what I was talking about, which couldn't be that important. The access port. Yeah, I'm hoping that it make it nice and linear throughout. It's supposed to get rid of that notchiness. Again, that 50% throttle that feels like 100% throttle, it's supposed to get rid of that. So I'm thinking the whole driving experience will be like it should have been when it comes from the factory. There's nothing wrong with it right now. It's a lot of fun, but I think it's kind of tuned to the test driver that takes this thing out from the showroom and wants to see what it's like, and then comes back and says, holy crap, best thing I've ever driven, and buys it, and then realizes that is all it's got. If it had gone, tried it a little bit faster, that's all there is. So that's kind of the way I see it. It's a strange factory tune, but I don't know a whole lot about cars, but it's just the feeling I get from it. but it's weird, the half throttle thing. And you put a 100% throttle and it's no different than half throttle. That's probably what I'm trying to get at there. So far we're getting right then we didn't drive it spirited, well, a little bit. We opened it up and took it slow in other parts and got 23.7 miles to the gallon average. The car, since I've had it, it says here 27.5 since I've had it, and I know today coming home from work, which is a steady 50-60 miles an hour in traffic, not much stop and go, so it was kind of right the way through. I got 32 miles to the gallon out of it. That's pretty good. The one for the fact it was 93 octane, it would be this would be a big saver over the BRZ, but the BRZ, even with the turbo on, I used to get 30 miles to the gallon out of it, so it's not that much of a save. But it's still really good for what it is. It's not, you know, the WRX and the WRX STI are not known for their fuel economy, but this one is very good. This is something else I got to get used to. The BRZ it's got a long hood, it's got a short ass and a long front. This one's got like a little stubby nose on it, and I never put it far enough into the garage. Actually, what I could do is cheat and put it in reverse and have a look at the camera. There we go, I'm good. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up. There's probably other stuff I've missed, and I'll put it in the next video. But the next video will be with the cob access port. I've got to find where I want to mount it, because I have the 7-inch display here. I'm not quite sure where to put it. I'll have to have a look at that thing when it comes. I mean, right here would be nice. Oh, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for listening.